Within the book of Matthew, our scripture for today was the very last story, the last parable, the last lesson that Jesus shared with his disciples in private before traveling to Jerusalem for the Passover meal and the festival. His last full lecture before the end of his very life. Unlike other scriptures that share a back and forth dialogue between Jesus and the disciples, we don't get to hear any questions that they may have had regarding sheep and goats, or about the great judgment, any questions they might have had about inheriting the kingdom, about feeding or quenching thirst, or welcoming or clothing or taking care of or visiting Jesus whenever we do these things for someone with less status than we have. I wish the text would have recorded the disciples' questions because I'm sure they had many, and then maybe I would have gotten my wanderings answered as well. Like, why is there so much emphasis on loving our enemies? If Jesus' last lecture is about being separated out like a giant wizarding sorting hat when we arrive before God's throne. And what's the deeper meaning regarding comparing people to sheep and to goats? I know that in olden times, both animals provided milk and meat and fabric. They were both very useful. And depending on their length of hair, both sheep and goats could be mistaken for one another. So is the point that all types of people are mixed up amongst one another? I believe that God's Spirit is inside each one of us, and the line between good and evil does not run between people or communities, but right down the middle of each and every person. If that's true, how could some people be 100% bad or asked to make a left turn with the goats at the end of time? And isn't it true that throughout our entire lives, all of us will sometimes act as metaphorical sheep, helping others without doing it for glory or recognition? And sometimes we will all act as Jesus' metaphorical goats, neglecting to feed, quench, welcome, take care of, or visit the least of these, and thus turn our backs on the Christ Spirit inside of other people. This week, a sign that has been up for 10 months was discovered by those in our community at a restaurant, which states, "We do not have a transgender bathroom, so don't be caught in the wrong one." That does not sound like an act of welcoming a stranger to me. This week, the new federal budget was unveiled and includes cut to women, infants, and children nutrition assistance, grants in struggling communities, grants for teacher training, after-school summer programs, aid programs to first-generation and low-income students, funding for affordable housing, for programs for which help low-income seniors find work, funding to provide job training for disadvantaged youth, and funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which supports public television and radio, including PBS and NPR. This does not sound like an act of feeding, or quenching, or welcoming, or clothing, or taking care of, or visiting anyone to me. But also this week, all over the world, folks did selfless, loving things for others, and they didn't do it for recognition. Folks organized a 24/7 schedule with different persons signing up to go to the hospital to sit with a man who was on his way out of this life, so that he wouldn't be alone at the time of his death. They showed up to unload food, to be given to those who are hungry, to be trained in becoming foster parents to children in need, to learn tools for deepening their spiritual lives through studying the labyrinth, because when each of us grows spiritually, the whole world benefits. They showed up to an HIV/AIDS support group to help one another along the journey, and to hand out clothing and toiletries to youth experiencing homelessness. And all of that just happened in this building. Think of how much good was done in all the buildings of all the cities, this city, this state, this country, the whole earth. In one day, think of all the good that was done The text says that the persons who did all the good things will receive a prize that they were not even expecting. The prize is that they will inherit the kingdom that was prepared for them before the world began. I had to look up what inherit meant. There's 3 definitions. The first is to receive as an heir at the death of the previous holder. The second is to receive something from a predecessor or former owner. And the third is to derive something genetically from one's parents or ancestors. In the case of inheriting the kingdom of God, I don't think it would come to anyone because of the death of the previous owner. God is not dead, but alive and continually working on expanding this beautiful kingdom. I think we inherit the kingdom genetically. Whenever I hold my hands across my lap, I place this hand on this hand and I hold it just like this, and my mom does the exact same thing. I got that from her. There are many other pieces of her that I have inherited from her genes. To act Christ-like, to behave in ways that God urges us to, is to show and carry our genetic similarities to our Creator. To be a co-owner, co-dweller, co-creator in the realm of the world which God has been dreaming up and preparing since the beginning of time. To me, it means you have access to the reciprocity, the fullness of love, the abundance which you and others have helped to grow and expand through every good word, thought, and deed that has been enacted to the least of these. This season of Lent, we've been focusing a lot on justice. We sing our song, Roll Down Justice, at the beginning of worship, and Let Justice Roll Down around our prayer time. This is based on the passage from the prophet Amos, which Martin Luther King Jr. echoed in his I Have a Dream speech. I care a lot about social justice, or at least that's what both churches said about me during my recent annual job reviews. The word justice means fairness, equity, and even-handedness. Social justice is defined as justice in terms of the distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privileges within a society. So in a society where Christ is in everyone, but everyone is not always Christ-like, the distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privilege is not fair or equal or even-handed. Instead, it's handed out broadly by wide-sweeping legislation and specifically by individuals who do or do not make a difference personally regarding the stench, rot, brokenness, emptiness, woundedness, and disease that is both inside and around us. The first reading said the call is coming from inside the house. That means that whatever is ailing us personally has a tendency to become amplified by our actions outside ourselves. Here is a story of a monastery of monks that had fallen upon hard times. Once the monastery was great and thriving, but as a result of waves of anti-monastic persecution in the 17th and 18th centuries, it had become decimated to the extent that there were only 5 monks left in the decaying mother house. The abbot leader and 4 others, all over 70 years of age. Clearly it was a dying order. In the deep woods surrounding the monastery, there was a hermitage. As the abbot leader agonized over the imminent death of his order, it occurred to him to visit the hermitage and ask if by some possible chance the hermit could offer any advice that might save the monastery. The hermit welcomed the abbot into his hut, but when the abbot explained the purpose of his visit, the hermit could only commiserate with him. "I know how it is," he exclaimed. "The spirit has gone out of the people. It is the same in all the nearby towns." So the old abbot and the hermit commiserated together. The time came when the abbot leader had to leave, and they embraced each other. "It has been a wonderful thing that we should meet after all of these years," the abbot said. "But I have still failed in my purpose for coming here. Is there nothing you can tell me, no piece of advice you could give me that would help me to save my dying order?" "No, I'm sorry," the hermit responded. "I have no advice to give. The only thing I can tell you is that the Messiah is one of you." When the abbot returned to the monastery, his fellow monks gathered around him to ask, "Well, what did the hermit say?" "He couldn't help," the abbot answered. "He just commiserated and read scriptures together. The only thing he did say, just as I was leaving, it was something cryptic, was that the Messiah is one of us. I don't know what he meant." In the days and weeks and months that followed, the old monks pondered these words and wondered whether there was any possible significance. The Messiah is one of us? Could he possibly have meant one of us monks here at the monastery? If that's the case, which one? Do you suppose he meant the abbot? Yes, if he meant anyone, he probably meant the abbot. He has been our leader for more than a generation. On the other hand, he might have meant Brother Thomas. Certainly, Brother Thomas is a holy man. Everyone knows that Thomas is a man of light. Certainly, he could not have meant Brother Eldred. Eldred gets crotchety at times. But come to think of it, even though he is a thorn in people's sides, when you look back on it, Eldridge is virtually always right. Often very right. Maybe the hermit did mean Brother Eldred. Surely not Brother Philip. Philip is so passive, a real nobody. But then almost mysteriously, he has a gift for somehow always being there when you need him. He just magically appears by your side. Maybe Philip is the Messiah. Of course, the hermit didn't mean me. He couldn't possibly have meant me. I'm just an ordinary person. Yet supposing he did, suppose I am the Messiah. Oh God, not me. I couldn't be that much for you, could I? As they contemplated in this manner, the old monks began to treat each other with extraordinary respect on the off chance that one of them might be the Messiah. And on the off chance that each monk himself might be the Messiah, they began to treat themselves with extraordinary respect. Because the forest in which it was situated was beautiful, it so happened that people still occasionally came to visit the monastery, to picnic on its tiny lawn, to wander along some of its paths, even now and then to go into the dilapidated chapel to meditate. As they did so, without even being conscious of it, they sensed the aura of extraordinary respect that now began to surround the 5 old monks and seemed to radiate out from them and permeate the atmosphere of the place. There was something strangely attractive, even compelling about it. Hardly knowing why, they began to come back to the monastery more frequently, to picnic, to play, to pray. They began to bring their friends to show them this special place, and their friends brought their friends. Then it happened that some of the younger men who came to visit the monastery started to talk more and more with the old monks. After a while, one asked if he could join them, then another and another. So within a few years, the monastery had once again become a thriving order, and thanks to the hermit's gift, a vibrant center of light and spirituality in the realm. Maybe this was Jesus' last lecture because he knew that the only way to heal the world was to treat each one as holy and revered. To treat the townspeople, the widows, the lepers, the orphans, all those that had been pushed to the margins with the same respect as they treated him. And in doing so, they would unknowingly inherit and inhabit and live within the kingdom of God that God first designed at the beginning of time. I must say, I'm not going to let this story persuade me into looking down upon goats or any other creature in God's creation. But I will think about the signs that we post in this place, the signs that I place personally, online, or all throughout our lives to see if the message includes a welcome to the stranger. And I will consider my own budget and whether the choices of my resource allocation prioritizes the feeding of, quenching of, welcoming, clothing, taking care of, and visiting the Christ Spirit those around me. And maybe if we treat others in the way that Jesus prompted his disciples at his last lecture, places that have fallen on hard times, or places not exactly in their heyday, will become thriving and vibrant centers of light and spirituality